SOS! Mayday! Mayday! You're all in danger! Run for cover!
Chicken Little! What is it? What's going on?
The sky is falling! The sky is falling!
Oh man! Faith in humanity is restored. Make NASCAR great again, baby! Oh my god! I am over the moon. We just saw the greatest NASCAR race of all freaking time tonight. Unbelievable! To top that off, the 12 hours of Sebring. Oh my goodness,
Phenomenal.
we had 12 straight hours of absolute insanity, and it comes down to a late race battle for the win. Oh my goodness, this was the greatest race weekend in recent memory. I can't remember a race weekend like this in a long time. Oh my goodness. This is why we said at the beginning of the year, 2024 was going to be the year of the golden era of motorsports. We got off to a real rocky start here, boys. We had to hold our shorts a little bit, but dang, did this weekend deliver.
All right. Hello and welcome to the Full Send Half Mast podcast, episode number 61. Oh my goodness. I am so ready for this podcast. We're going to have a great time here tonight talking about some racing. But first, I got Tom back on the podcast with me this week after a 1 week hiatus. He's back. Hey, Tom, how are you doing, man?
Man, look, I'm doing great. Last week, though, I just got to put this out there, okay? I went to that shooting competition versus the King of Camo. Boy, did we spank him.
Hell
We
yeah.
spank him.
Hashtag Team Dega Boys. Hell yeah.
All right, anyways, go ahead.
All righty. Tonight, we don't have a whole lot of news because tonight we want to talk a lot about the racing we saw this weekend. Over the moon. Amazing racing. We had some Pilot Challenge series. We had some IMSA WeatherTech series. We had some trucks and Cup at Bristol. We'll go over our driver week, Bonehead moves of the week as well. We'll go over some point standings in IMSA and the Cup series. And then we'll preview all the races this weekend, including the Thermal Club. We'll go over the format there at Thermal Club as well. Tom will kind of walk us through that whole deal. We'll talk about it, maybe some of our thoughts going into this amazing $1 million challenge. Then we'll also give you our NASCAR and Formula One fantasies. And then our special segment here, which is going to be a good time. Can't wait to bring that to you guys here as well. So, first off, one thing I do want to start off here with today, Tom, is I want to talk about the Steiner's comments. Gunther Steiner was the team principal there for Haas. Made some interesting comments. Did you want to lead off with this one, Tom? Because you brought up some pretty good points here on this one.
Yeah, so Gunther made a lot of comments about his time at Haas. And, you know, he was kind of talking about how, you know, sometimes when you're in the zone and you're really hyper focused on, you know, performance and getting the right people and putting the package together, you kind of start missing the small things. And only then only when you take a step back. In Gunther's case, you take you get fired, you get canned. You can step back and actually start seeing everything that he missed. Then you start to question, well, was it was the good time to go. It was a good time to go. And he said that. That's basically word for word what he said. I can appreciate that. And that's really cool that somebody of his stature, somebody of, higher up ranking status in the Formula One world, to go out there and say that, yes, I made mistakes and I'm owning it. I'm not gonna try to sit here and cover it up with a blanket. I'm not gonna sit here and persuade other people to think that I was the greatest ever. I made mistakes, and that's the bottom line of it. And in the end, I lost my job because of it. And that is really cool to see, especially in the culture that we're in today. In the culture that we're in today, especially surrounding social media, like, people really do try to cover up their past because of previous mistakes, but not Gunther. Not Mr. Steiner. Mr. Steiner is owning them, and he goes out on a public platform to own it. And to that, I have the utmost respect for that. That is so cool.
Yeah, I am a huge fan of Gunther Steiner. Always have been, especially when he was over there at Haas. And I mean, you bring up some great points there, Tom. I really appreciate him being transparent with everybody, understanding what happened there, and he owned it, man. That's all you could do. And you live, you learn, you make mistakes, you succeed, you fail. That's life, man. That's the story of life. And also another thing to that too is if something like he just wasn't having any fun in his comments, he just wasn't having fun anymore. And if you're not having fun doing something anymore, or you're not appreciating what you're doing, I mean, it makes life really tough. And that's a tough decision for him to understand where his faults are and everything were, and then be honest with it. So I appreciate that from Gunther, and I hope we see him around doing other things. Maybe he's doing TV stuff or just being around. He's a great personality to have in motorsports.
I'd love to see him take on a different discipline.
Me too.
I think that would be pretty cool. Like for Gunther to go to like DTM or something.
Yeah.
And just like light the world on fire there. That would be sweet.
Yes, that'd be dope. I would like that. I mean, he's always welcome here in America. Come to IndyCar.
Yeah. Him and Grosjean could get back together.
Yeah, I was going to say, him and Grosjean, it'd be a good mix there at Juncos. That'd be great. Alrighty. Next, we're going to go straight into the Michelin Pilot Challenge race. Oh my goodness. The Alan J. Automotive 120. Goodness gracious. This was an amazing race. This was Friday afternoon. And so I got to work and I came home and started watching this before I caught some sleep. And I was like, dang, I'm glad I caught this race. Because this gave me some of those last year VIR Pilot Challenge vibes. I mean, the amount of carnage in this race was absolutely nuts. It was wild. We saw the number 69 McLaren qualifying pole in the Grand Sport class. Some of the major issues I want to talk about, though, is the number 92 BMW. At one point in this race, they're going into like turn 7, I think it was, and the ABS locked up and just absolutely wiped out the Ford, which was my dark horse pick. So I was like, oh, I was devastated and bummed. But I was like, at first glimpse here, Tom, though, when I saw this incident, I could have swore that they put a new livery on that number 95 BMW Turner Sport, and I thought it was McGuinness behind the wheel for a second there, dude. I almost had some PTSD there for a second, but then I had to double take, and I'm like, nope, it was the other team BMW. It wasn't the Turner team. Oh man. And then also other incidents here. This is gonna get a nomination for Bonehead Move of the Week again. Turn 7 Sebring. It provides, right? It provides, Tom. It provides. Oh man, Jake Peterson. He goes in with a late dive bomb move here on the number 57 Mercedes with Ward behind the wheel, and absolutely couldn't even make the corner. He literally went into this corner so deep and so aggressive on the brakes. He went straight through Ward. Didn't even have a chance to make the corner. I jumped out of my chair. I'm like, that damn idiot. Oh man. That was so great. There was other incidents. We saw like one of the Toyota Supras get ran off the track at one point. My dark horse picked the Alfa Romeo in the TCR class. I told you guys last week on the podcast, this team's either going to go out set the world on fire with a podium finish, or they're gonna absolutely crumble like stale bread. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, they're running towards the front of the field late in this race, and then just the same old mechanical issues there out of the Aston Martin team. Unbelievable. And then at the end of this race, holy cow, what a finish we had. We had 3-car battle for the lead. We had the number 77 Aston, the 71 Aston, and I believe it was one of the Porsches at the time, all off strategy with each other because there were so many cautions in during this race. They put like a 3-car battle for the lead, door banging, wheel banging, throwing crossovers, moving side by side to the S's. It was just, I was on an absolute edge of my seat. The number 71 Aston Martin goes on to win the race. Drivers of that were Liddell and Depew. They win the Grand Sport class. And then the number 17 Audi continuing with their winning ways here with Taylor and Miller win TCR. It was unfortunate, though, because the Hyundais were really off strategy in this race. They had some issues. I know one of the Hyundais with 77, they had major issues, and they didn't have the pace, and I was really disappointed because I had the number 13 with Wickens and Gottsacker winning this race, and they just did not make it happen this weekend. So, is there anything else you want to add here to the Pilot Challenge race, or did I cover that one pretty good? I feel like I did.
No. Honestly, I really don't, because look, it was a great race. I'm really excited to talk about the IMSA race.
Yes, me too. I'll give you a good opportunity to talk about this one. This was a great race. First, before we get into the IMSA 12 hours Sebring, Jarkson's in the chat. He says, "Hey boys," I'm guessing that's Jackson Samsel, but correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that is.
What up?
What's up, man? Enjoying another fine Tuesday night here with the Dega Boys channel, podcast time. Alrighty. This race, oh my goodness. The 72nd installment of the 12 hours of Sebring. Unbelievable race. I guess we could just talk about certain parts of this race, Tom, and we could just interject when you feel like you want to talk about something here. But the number 31 Action Express Cadillac qualifies on pole for this race. Just like Daytona, we saw both Cadillacs right up front at the beginning of this race. It looks like Cadillac is going to win this race. Back-to-back maybe for Action Express. Unbelievable beginning to the weekend there. Major incidents. We had some wrecks early on. Like, I mean, I know a bunch of the LMP2s had a lot of issues early in this race, but that's just LMP2. What do you expect? The major incident I want to talk about here first, though, Tom. Pipo Derani. You talk about Pipo Derani for a second. I know what I want to say, but I think you've got some good opinions here.
All right. Look, I've been to Sebring when we were testing when I was in IndyCar, but I've never driven on Sebring. I've done a lot of virtual laps on Sebring. But Derani, what were you doing, man? Okay, where did he wreck, Jay? Where did he wreck?
I believe it was right off the S's, right? The 8-9 complex right there. If I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Let's just talk about it for a second. Where are the passing zones in Sebring?
7, 17.
17.
Maybe turn 4
after
if you're
16.
brave. Yeah.
Yes, after turn 4.
Yeah.
Before 5. Maybe before 6. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
Very,
that's a risk.
It's risky. It's very risky. All right. But when you're passing on track, not only are those curbs taller than what the Twin Towers used to be, you just can't do it. You just can't do it. You hit the curbs and you screw the. We see it in the Sebring race that we broadcasted with Nexus. When Ryan Bird went off trying to pass a GTD car, he got high centered on the curbs going through the corner. Completely overshot it, completely screwed his corner. Actually, Javon Thompson did it too. But it's like, but here's the difference. Derani is a professional race car driver. He is a pro, making one of the most rookie mistakes you can make. And then not only making that mistake, he fully committed. He fully committed and then ate some tires, and then he finds himself pointing straight up in the sky on his roof. Unbelievable. Could you imagine? I mean, look, you're driving, you're sitting there, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna make a quick pass on this guy, and by the way, it is GTP's job to pass safely. It is not anybody else's concern to make sure that you pass safely. It is the GTP's job, the faster car. All right. So when he's going around this GTD car, absolutely no regard for anybody but himself, and he reaps the consequences right there. And it's over. It is over. And he full committed. Even if he tried hitting the brakes, didn't freaking matter. It wouldn't have mattered if he didn't hit the brakes. He was going to flip. And it was actually pretty incredible to see a GTP flip like that. It was.
It was unbelievable. I mean, we got to look at the bottom end of a prototype. I don't think we've seen that yet at any level. It was amazing. Oh my goodness. If you've been around the channel a while, you guys know my opinion here of Pipo Derani. He's one of my favorite race car drivers. I love Pipo Derani. I literally nominated him last year's Driver of the Year. Amazing a season he had last year. Doesn't make any mistakes ever. Like, ever. This was the most uncharacteristic Pipo Derani move I've ever seen. And leading the race, I understand what he's trying to do, but it just risk versus reward. The risk was so much higher right there.
But what was the gap between first and second at that point? Wasn't it like 15 seconds?
Yeah, it was huge. Yeah.
So you lose 2 seconds to gain 4.
Yeah.
That's my thinking behind it, because the guy behind you at the time, wasn't it? It was Bourdais.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Or it was Dixon. It was Dixon.
Dixon. Yep.
And so Dixon was going to have to go across the same thing. I mean, it's the game you have to play while racing on track. And Derani did. I mean, he executed something, but it wasn't leading the race anymore.
Yeah. He definitely had a blackout moment. I don't know what was going on there, but I think you described it perfectly. I mean, that's great, dude. I mean, dang. But you know what, Pipo Derani? We love you here on the Dega Boys channel, my guy, but unfortunately, you're going to be nominated for Bonehead Meme of the Week this week. That was just so bad. So bad. And we'll talk about that more when we get to the points, too, because they are in a hole right now, unfortunately, after this incident. After being so good at Daytona, they were right there on the cusp. We'll talk about that more.
And, man, they were great at Sebring, too. I mean, they were class of the field.
They were. They were the best car. 100%.
They were going to win. They were going to win that race.
Back-to-back, even. I mean, and not by fluke like last year. They were actually going to win this race off speed, which was going to be nuts, but unfortunately, it ended right there on the 7th hour. What is it, the 7th hour odds? I don't know. All right, and then another thing I want to talk about here, too. Catherine Legg got absolutely TKO'd by the number 7 Porsche GTP car. Holy cow. If you guys haven't seen it, she ate that tire barrier and came back into traffic. Oh, my goodness. I haven't seen it hit that hard in a while.
It's been a long time. Look, when she got hit on the left front, the front of that vehicle just it looked like it picked up off the ground, spun the car around, and then like there was no time to react. The amount of speed she was carrying when she hit that wall was actually quite impressive. It was impressive, and then the hit on top of that was just crazy. And then she gets out like it's nothing. You know, NASCAR could learn a thing or two about that, about building safe vehicles, for sure. But that was an impressive wreck on top of Derani's impressive wreck. And then on top of that, Jay, we after that, if you don't mind me speaking a little bit more forward after this, we were in a very grid-locked, like, strategic race.
Yes.
Right? We saw the Acura MSR, Bourdais, and Felipe. Is that right?
Yeah.
On a different strategy than the whole rest of the other GTPs. Proton again kicking ass here at Sebring. It was awesome to see that. But holy cow, was it turning into an amazing strategy race. And then here come the cautions.
Yes, the cautions. before we get right into the cautions real quick, Tom, one more thing I want to talk about. This insane move by Hunter McElroy. Holy cow.
Yes.
In the turn
Yes.
17, he goes splits and LMP2's on the outside. You have a GTD in the middle, and then McElroy. This dude is a loose cannon. We mentioned this all year last year in the NXT. This guy is a loose cannon. He makes a loose cannon move, and it worked. It worked to perfection. I mean, me and Tom jumped out of our chairs at this moment. Like, we were like jaw to the floor. Oh my goodness. I mean, unbelievable. But yes, like Tom said, we had the 25 BMW, we had the 40 Acura, the 01 Cadillac, all on an alternate strategy. Then the cautions come out, and it really kind of set up the end of this race. It looked like it was Bourdais' race to lose, right? It really felt like he was doing such a good job. Or not Bourdais. Yeah, Bourdais.
Yeah, it was Bourdais.
Yes. Yes, it felt like his race to lose was really controlling it. End of this race. Holy cow. Unbelievable. It was like last year's Sebring all over again. But this time it was the 01 and the 40. Delatraz, what a job this guy did to stay relevant all race long. Because like you said, the 01 Cadillac, the Cadillacs were just another level in this race. Maybe they were off strategy a little bit, but I mean, unbelievable pace they had. Bourdais looked like it was his race to lose, was doing a great job controlling it. But then Delatraz takes the fight to him. What a battle, Tom. What a battle.
Yeah, it was a great battle. And honestly, I wasn't even expecting MSR to come out on top like that. With that battle that he had with Bourdais. I mean, holy cow. I really thought Bourdais had this one in the bag. But, and then to even speak more on top of that, the MSR, the number 40, passed Bourdais and then legged him. It was not close at the end at all. It was like, what, a 8 second gap at the end of the race? No chance. No chance.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I didn't see this coming from Delatraz of all people. I mean, he's been kind of the bottom tier driver there for the last couple seasons, and then he really took the fight to Bourdais. Unbelievable. A star in the making right here at Delatraz. Unbelievable start to this series for the Acura team, Meyershank Racing. Unbelievable, man. I can't believe it. I can't. Unbelievable. So, yes, they end up winning the race. Bourdais ends up coming home second in the 01 Cadillac. Just an absolute fantastic race from start to finish. I mean, we kind of talked about the major incidents, but this whole race was absolutely insane. It was like when you finally thought you figured out the strategy and what was going to happen next, we get a yellow or we get a caution, and then it would just flip right back over again, and you're like, wow, I thought I had it figured out, but now it's all reverse. And then you're like, and now I got to figure it out. And then it would do it again. It was like, and then just the battles. I mean, LMP2. Let's talk about LMP2 for a second.
Yes.
LMP2 is god tier. I mean, it's absolute god tier racing. Look, I mean, yes, the GTP battle was good. We had a pretty good battle with GTD Pro there for a little while until it kind of walked away with Hawksworth at the end. And they talked about it too. The fight was a little tougher than they thought it was going to be, and then eventually it worked out in their favor to win that race. But the LMP2 battle was never secured. It was always in doubt. It was like, who's gonna win? Like, it was almost a survival of the fittest at one point, and then it was like, whose strategy's gonna play out in the right favor here now? And then you got lead changes, swaps. You got Hunter McElroy making amazing moves. You got half the field wrecking. I mean, wow, unbelievable. LMP2, man, LMP2. I can't believe LMP2. I want more.
It was great. Like, honestly, LMP2 is the Xfinity series right now when it comes to, on track content, on track battling. You never know what's gonna happen. Really, I mean, you could really take that LMP2 group right now, take them to any track on the face of this earth, and they will put on a show. And it'll be great. It's the same thing with the Xfinity guys. You could take the Xfinity guys to Spa, and they'll put on a hell of a battle for the win of that race. You could take the LMP2 guys to the freaking bull ring in Las Vegas, and they'll put on a show. You know what I mean? Like, there's no doubt in my mind that they could do it.
That'd be great action, actually. Let's bring that to the IMSA boards. Let's take LMP2 to the bull ring in Vegas. Let's do it. I like that idea. Yeah, it was a great race for LMP2. So, at the end of the day, like I said, the 40 Acura wins in GTP. The 18 Aero Motorsports, there was Zilich, Merriman, and Dalziel. They end up winning in LMP2, which, again, that was in doubt the entire race. I mean, we didn't know who was going to win LMP2 till literally they crossed the checkered flag.
And to just add on that just a second, Zilich making mistakes left and right all race long, and he comes back at the end of the race and wins it. What a freaking driver, man! That right there is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Chastain and that never give up attitude. Never give up, because you still have a chance to win this race. Connor Zilich has that. He has it. Zilich, Hocevar, and Ross Chastain are really the only three drivers that I have seen in the past couple of years who have that never give up attitude.
Yeah, I agree.
it was freaking awesome to watch at Sebring. Connor Zilich was the storyline.
Yeah, I agree. He's a generational talent, man. I'm super excited. Well, and he's also racing in the Truck Series this weekend, so I can't wait to talk about that as well.
Yeah.
He is oh my goodness, unbelievable driver. I'm super excited to see where his future goes. He's great. And then, like I mentioned, GTD Pro, we saw the number 14 Vassar Sullivan team win again. It was a tough one though at the beginning. Like I mentioned, they had to fight for it at the beginning of this race, but by the end of the race, the maturity got best of them, I believe.
Yeah, the pit stop they had an infraction on that pit stop. Was it Hawksworth or was it
I think it was Barnicoat at the time.
Barnicoat, yeah, it was Barnicoat, where he almost hit his crew member coming out of pit lane. Just a brain fart by the driver, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the driver could see him right there working on his car, and then he hits the gas anyways. And you could say all you want about IMSA pit stop regulations. Everybody has to follow them. Mm-hmm. Everybody has to follow them. Everybody's held to the same scrutiny. It's not NASCAR yet. It's not NASCAR, but it is what it is. They still came back and won. That was insane. Because they were almost a lap down at one point because of that.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I'm pretty sure they were last on the lead lap.
Yeah. But the maturity ended up playing out in their favor. Just great lineup. They also had Kirkwood there with them as well, so pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's right.
And then in the GTD class, we had this number 57 Windward Mercedes. They win again. They won at Daytona. They win again here with Ward Ellis and Dante. They win the GTD. One thing I want to note, though, when I get to the points here, is right now in the GTP class, we got the number 7 Porsche leading the points right now, but they're actually tied with the number 40 Acura for the points lead, which is crazy. And then, like I mentioned, that hurting them in the points, the Cadillac, they're 160 points back in third, the number 31 Cadillac. But what I think is really cool, though, is we've had 2 endurance rounds so far. Colton Herta is leading the points at IMSA right now. But he's not running full time. So it's like, dang, dude, he can almost win a championship at IMSA. It's crazy. But it doesn't work that way. It's so crazy. So crazy how motorsports work. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. But is there anything else you want to add to the 12-hour Sebring? I think it's just an amazing race. I watched it all day. That's what I love about endurance racing right here is you could throw the race on. You could watch 30, 40 minutes, go do something for 10, 15. Like I was doing my dishes, doing my laundry, whatever, doing things, come back. Oh, the old running order's like this now. You watch for another 30 minutes. Like it's like a day thing, It's what I love about endurance racing.
It is. I mean, it's a classification of its own. It's one of the purest forms of racing that we have left in the whole world, honestly. Other than the 23, 58, 36, what's the other drama-ridden headline that's come out of IMSA?
The BMW Ferrari BOP issue, but they reversed it, but they aren't going to give them their points back. That's the only other thing, really. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. IMSA really doesn't have a whole lot of drama. I mean, it's just a huge group of drivers racing for the win. And that is what is cool. There's no gimmicks in the racing. There's no stage cautions. All right. There's no restricted. Well, there is restricted horsepower, but IMSA does and I would say a good job. If it wasn't for the whole Daytona fiasco, I'm gonna downgrade that now to decent.
just a decent job with their power differentiations and their BOPs. But man, IMSA, uh, there's a lot of racing series that can take notes from IMSA for sure.
Yes, I agree. I'm excited. And I think Long Beach, if I'm not mistaken, is the next race. And if you guys watched Long Beach last year, that race was a banger. Holy cow. I can't wait for that one. So, yep, that'll do it for IMSA. Great race weekend there. Next, we'll talk about the Truck Series race. I'm going to be honest here, Tom. I've only watched like maybe a couple hundred laps or maybe 100 laps of this race. I didn't catch it live because we did that broadcast. But I do know kind of some of the drama that happened here. We saw Eckes qualifying pole. Busch wins stage 1 and 2 like he normally does when he runs a truck at Bristol. He's just so good. One major incident, though, I saw this on the highlight video, but Majeski and Rhodes making contact. I mean, teammate drama there. Like, Majeski gets sideways. It looked like Crafton maybe touched him. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making an assumption there. But yeah, weird stuff there. But between Majeski and Rhodes, interesting to see how that plays out as the season progresses. And then we had a late caution. This is where the drama comes in with Friesen crashing late in this race. Allowed Eckes to get by Busch to win the race. And Kyle Busch wasn't too happy about that. I don't know if you caught his post-race interview, but that was the most Kyle Busch-esque interview ever, dude. He was just not digging it. He was not digging it. But dude, I mean, it's racing, man. That's the way I look at it. I mean, what do you expect? We're racing freaking a truck race that's 200 miles at the most, or in this case, it was like a 200 lap race, and stage cautions and manufactured restarts. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, Truck Series does not need stage racing. That is the dumbest thing ever. It doesn't need it. Well, we don't need it in all series, but most particularly Truck Series. It's just it's unnecessary. What I've been saying this: if you're gonna do this route with the stage cautions because the NASCAR wants it, do what ARCA does, right? Let's have a halfway break. Let's just make a halfway break. Run the rest of the race. You're about the same length as an ARCA race anyway. I think you're only like 5% longer. Like you're not changing anything. It's not like a game changer. I mean, I don't know. That's just my opinion. But yes, Christian Eckes ends up winning this race, and I'm gonna brag a little bit because I did pick him to win this race. I did say he was gonna win. He almost had it won in the fall, but then what was it, like 10 laps ago in the fall race last year? He ends up losing the lead to Heim at the end because Heim did just a little bit better at the end of that race. Unbelievable. So yeah, I did pick that one right. I did pretty good there. Is there anything else you want to add to the truck race, or you kind of?
No.
I mean, we didn't really watch it because you didn't have a chance to watch it live, at least.
I went back and watched a little bit of it, but I don't know. To me, it's not just worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Comparative to what we're about to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. The trucks just haven't been good for the last 2-3 years, really. I mean, It just hasn't been. Xfinity is the golden standard of NASCAR, and that's just my opinion. But I believe that all changed this weekend. Oh my goodness. All right, so
where do we start? First off,
yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Where do we start? So I guess first off, we'll just say Blaney wins pole, Gibbs wins stage 1, 2, Hamlin wins the race. All right, that's out of the way. Now let's talk about it, right? So, to be fair, ever since the Atlanta race, you guys all, if you've been hanging around this channel, you know my and Tom's opinion. But I've really been turned off with NASCAR recently. I watched a terrible Atlanta race and was told by everybody and their mom and their grandma's cousin under the sun that this was the greatest NASCAR race of all time. When I was
forget the Neff sons.
Yeah, and the Neff sons. When we were in the minority, because we told you guys how terrible it was, everybody just saw that 3-wide finish and they overreacted and thought it was the greatest thing they ever saw race-wise. But there's a difference between a good race and a good finish, and people don't realize that. So I watched the Vegas race, and then I see the fan reception of Vegas, which I personally thought the Vegas race was really good. I mean, from start to finish, we saw, yes, if you take Larson out of the equation being so far ahead, if you looked at the battle from 2nd to 8th, freaking fantastic all day long. In my opinion, I love that race. So after I saw the reception of Vegas, I was like, I don't, what am I going to do? NASCAR's going in this trend. We've talked about it, and it's going to be unwatchable in the future. So I didn't watch the first 2 stages of this race. I was boycotting it. I really was. Tom texted me, my dad texted me, and they both of their responses were, "Holy cow, the tire wear, this is nuts." And I'm like, all right, if my dad and Tom are telling me this, and these are two very credible people that understand racing, are telling me this, I'm tuning in. So I tuned in, and holy cow, Tom, I was watching this with the NSR boys in the chat, and I'm watching this race play out, and you're seeing these guys like not wanting to lead a lap, like they're just playing cat and mouse to the lead because nobody knew how to save tires anymore. Tire saving's been gone for the last 10 years in NASCAR because no horsepower. We got a tire that's, as Tom would say, tougher, or harder than the stones that Jesus walked on. So we don't have any tire wear anymore. So none of these new guys know how to save tires. So everybody's playing follow the leader, swapping positions, trying to. And I'm sitting here laughing. I don't think I've ever sat and watched a NASCAR race where I was hysterically laughing. I fell out of this chair. I was leaning. I started laughing. I fall over the chair. I hit the ground, dying, laughing, rolling over because you got guys blowing tires, like the tires. Holy cow, dude! Those things are like shredded in half. Like, holy cow, man! What an absolute banger of a race. And then I missed the first half of the race, so I was like, you know what, I gotta go back and rewatch it from the beginning. So I went back and rewatched it from the beginning, and I wish I'd have watched Stage 2. Stage 2, greatest stage in all of NASCAR stage racing history. I mean, holy, it looked like Daytona, dude. Everybody's just running side by side, running like 3 seconds off the pace because everybody's scared to go lead because the tires. And then Goodyear's like trying to mount new tires or rolling them out of the shop. Oh my god!
That's the greatest part right there. Everybody's blowing tires, trying to stay out on track, and here's Goodyear in the middle of the track, just absolutely in a frenzy, trying to mount more tires. You can see the higher ups there just absolutely code brown in their pants, and they're just trying to mitigate the damage that's on track right now. It was a beautiful symphony of agony for Goodyear. That was just, I mean, it was beautiful. It was like Beethoven came back to earth and was just like sitting there with all of this chaos happening and orchestrating it with his fucking piano or something. It was amazing. It was awesome. It was awesome. Jay, I want to take credit for one thing here. All right. I've actually been saying this for a hot minute.
It's podcast 3, actually.
Yeah.
I went back and watched it.
So, what's one of the things that we've always talked about? Horsepower to these cars would make a substantial difference. If we can't do horsepower, what do? We give them a tire that laps 30, 40, 50 laps. Goodyear tells them, hey, this is all we're recommending it for. Everything after that, it's on you guys. And then let them race it. Let them do the tire strategy, the tire conservation, and all of this crazy stuff. We got to see it, and it was an absolute freaking banger, dude. It was the greatest race. It was the greatest race since COT cars, the first year of Gen 6. It was absolutely beautiful. Everything about that race was what the racing gods have envisioned for many years to come. And the drivers actually had to show up on a Sunday and work. They had to work. The crew chiefs had to work. The pit crews, they actually had to work. That's everything we want. We want to see these drivers out on track, cussing out of their minds, just absolutely throwing the middle finger out the window, all this, all the great racing action on track. We want to see the crew chiefs sitting there scratching their heads. Ooh, what do we do, guys? With all of their 6-figure buddies right next to them. And then the pit crews. The pit crews, right? We want to see tires blowing. Not necessarily, I shouldn't say that. We want to see tires cording. We want to see people reacting, not being proactive. Although proactive is good in a sense of in a sense of business, but being reactive to what is happening on track it's so much entertainment that we could have. Everything about that race is what racing is and should be about. Imagine, just sit here and imagine with me, just for a second, we didn't have those stage cautions. 11 sets of tires wouldn't have made it. It would have been impossible. You know? And it would have been amazing. Imagine if we were sitting at 60, 70, 80 laps to go, and they're just putting on the last set of tires. Could you imagine?
Crazy.
Every single one of those guys out on the field would be crossing the start-finish line with steel wheels because all the cords would be showing. That would be awesome. Because what you would see is you would see guys running 5-second slower lap times to conserve the tire. But then you'd also see the guys who are maybe 1, 2, 3 laps down trying to get their lap back the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
That is controlled chaos in an amazing setting like Bristol Motor Speedway, where all you see is action at every single point on the track. That right there is what we're asking for. And I don't think that's a hard ask. Now, we just talked about tire degradation, right? You don't even have to take it that far. You don't. Although it was freaking phenomenal, you don't have to take it that far. All right? You know how wide these cup tires are? Insane.
Freaking Titanic, man.
They're wider than freaking, I don't even know. I mean, they're insanely wide. Take them down to the width of the Xfinity Series tires. Make them lose mechanical grip. Make them lose it. Gone. You don't even need horsepower now because you're struggling for grip on track. That's all we want is struggle for grip. You can put as much mechanical grip as you want in there. It's not going to make a difference. That's what we want. Right? That promotes passing. That promotes strategy. That promotes a driver actually having to work. That is what we want. There is nothing more. Take the width of the tire down. Go back to a 5-stud lug nut configuration. Or you keep the same width. You keep them harder than the stones that Jesus walked on, and you give them 750 horsepower. That's not a bad compromise, in my opinion. Because, and I promise you, no matter what route you take, you're gonna get races like Bristol, and it's not going to be what some fans would consider a safety issue.
Yeah. I think this is the greatest race of all time. I was trying to go back in my brain and figure out, like, what were the greatest races of all time. And, like, I was like, oh, maybe, like, 2007 Martinsville when Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon were on beat-to-hell tires at Martinsville battling door-to-door for the win. Oh, maybe it was 2011 Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon slipping around on old beat-to-hell tires at Atlanta, for the win. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe this is what makes good racing. If I'm thinking of the best races and it's all the same scenario, I was going to come on here and moan about the stages, moan about the broadcast. They all suck, whatever, it sucks. But honestly, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I think this was a 100%, 10 out of 10 greatest race I've ever seen in my life. I watched this race once through with the broadcast, didn't like it. I muted it, watched it back, and I liked it even better. So you don't even need to listen to Boyer, Harvick, and McJoy do whatever they're doing. Just mute the race, put on some music, and just watch it naturally happen. Greatest race I've ever seen. Unbelievable. I've never sat here and just laughed and enjoyed a race so much. It was so great. And like Tom said, Tom's been saying this forever. I don't think we need more horsepower. I think this works. If we give them a tire that NASCAR guarantees is going to last 40 laps. Give them 14 sets. I don't care. Give them 15 sets. Give them 35 sets. I don't give a damn. Make it where they only last 40 laps, and make it where if you want to go past 40 laps, you're taking a risk. That's your risk. That's your prerogative. We guarantee 40 laps these will make it. I love it. I loved it. My biggest gripe though, and here we go. We got to get into it, Tom. It's a natural trend here on the Dega Boys. But here we go. NASCAR fans, for the most part, thought it was good. But then you got those damn Atlanta fans. And I'm going to call them Atlanta fans. I am going to call them Atlanta fans because they are Atlanta fans. These aren't racing fans. These aren't NASCAR fans. These are some Budweiser drinking redneck Alabama freaking Atlanta fans. That's what they are. They don't like racing. They just want to. They're not even Atlanta fans. You know what they are? They are Demolition Derby fans. If you want to go see a Demolition Derby, go to your damn county fair and watch a damn Demolition Derby. Go. Every short track has at least one night of destruction at least sometime during the year. Go watch that. I don't want to watch that. I enjoy it. It's got a place in the marketplace, but not on my TV on NASCAR Sunday. Hell no. Get that out of here. Get out of here with that bullcrap. So, if you didn't like that race, my advice to you is go into your basement, lock the doors, turn the lights off, put the Atlanta race on repeat loop, and just sit there for the next 10 years of your life because you don't like racing if you didn't like this race. That's all I'm going to say. And then the other thing is, too, is their big excuse is the drivers don't like it. The drivers didn't like it. I don't give a damn if the drivers love it or hate it. They're getting paid millions of dollars to entertain us. If they don't like doing that, they don't like being a race car driver, go find a new job. Go work at McDonald's. There's 100,000 other people in this country that would love to jump in there and have your ride and probably can do a better job than you because you're whining and moaning. Blaney, get out of here with this. Larson, get out of here with this. Nemechek, get out of here with this because we had Keselowski, Hamlin, Gregson, I don't know. Why am I ranting? I had a great time. I love this race. I'm just saying. We had some drivers who enjoyed this race, and then you have other people that complained and moaned and whined. You know, I don't know. You got to work, right? We made these drivers work. They had to work today. Sorry that you forgot how to save tires. That's your own prerogative. Learn how to save tires and enjoy it because that was great racing. And if the NASCAR drivers don't like it and they want a harder tire again, well, that's the problem with racing right there. That's why NASCAR can't progress. If they're listening to the Atlanta fans, or I guess the Demolition Derby fans, and they're listening to the drivers that just want to complain when you finally have a good product on track.
Yeah, I want to add just a couple things here. I listened to Dave Moody today, and he all day long, all he was doing was getting call-ins from people about their opinions of Bristol. And don't get me wrong, majority of them was like, wow, I didn't know that we could have racing like this. This is actually, I was on the edge of my seat the whole race. And I'm sitting there like, well, hell yeah, like this is like what we've witnessed before in the past. We've strayed so bad, we don't even know we've strayed. Mm-hmm. Right? But there was one guy that called in, and I'm not going to say his name or anything, because it's burned in my brain right now because of what he just said, but he goes, yeah, Dave, been calling here a lot, and, you know, I did not like Bristol. And Dave was like, well, what do you figure? And he goes, well, the strategy wasn't there, the tire strategy wasn't there, everybody was just blowing tires. You know, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, who the hell's going to blow the next tire? Who is he pitting? Are we pitting? Is everybody pitting? We got to put an end to this. Goodyear's got to do better. And he continued. Dave's like, whoa, I gotta stop you there. Did you just say that Bristol wasn't a good strategy race? And he goes, yeah, the tires were terrible. And Dave goes, were you watching the 2024 Bristol fall race or spring race? And he goes, yeah, the one on Sunday. And Dave's like, right then and there, he hung up on him. And he goes, please don't call into my show with stuff like that. He just moved on to the next one. And then another guy called in, and he basically just said everything that we were just talking about, Jay, with the different paths and routes and stuff. And you know, he said, you know what? This race was an eye-opener for me. Like what I just said, We have strayed so far from what the product we saw on Sunday. We don't even know that we've strayed. How we have we this is what we need. This is what made NASCAR popular in the 70s and 80s and 90s. That was racing. And Dave's like, "Yeah, I completely agree." You know, and again, yeah, this is what made NASCAR popular. And I just think though that the tire degradation was just a little too much there. And so, you know, if NASCAR could bring a tire that's just a little bit harder, we might see a little bit better racing. And he goes, "Dave, I disagree with you.
I do too.
That was the best racing we have seen since the COT days. There was no better racing. This race will go down in history for the next gen car.
Mm-hmm.
You have Chastain at Martinsville, and now you have Bristol. Those are the two races everybody will remember with the next gen car. And so I just thought it was interesting. I think there's going to be coming a turning point, Jay. I think with the coming weeks, we're going to go back to that same old crap hard tire, and it's going to be boring, follow the leader once again, and everybody's going to look back at this Bristol race and be like, man, we need more of that.
This leads me into our next segment. All right. You don't have to do the tinfoil hat if you don't want to. That's all righty. So, my idea here is NASCAR's been trying to tank short tracks. So what they did is they brought a new tire compound, lied about it. They wanted to have this be an absolute failure so we don't have to go to short tracks anymore. And just like a bunch of happy young teenagers, they had one happy accident. It all worked out.
Yeah, you know, I actually agree with everything Jay said right there. This was a horrible attempt at trying to kill short tracks. It backfired so bad.
And there you go. That is our conspiracy moment. Alrighty. We are back. Yeah, amazing race this weekend at Bristol. I love it. I love it. I want more of it. Let's bring see there it's like people saying maybe we should bring this to like some other tracks, or maybe we just went way too far. I don't think so. I think whatever they did this weekend, I think they should replicate it and try it at Martinsville. If it fails, it completely fails, we tried something. It just didn't work. Let's try it. Let's not abandon it.
I remember Dave said something. That's what I was going to talk about. Dave said something about he talked to the CEO of Goodyear in the racing division. He already stated that those tires at Bristol will never be brought back to life.
That's crazy.
It's sad.
It's so sad.
Yep.
I don't know. I know a lot of people would disagree with us, Tom, but I believe Richmond is the only good short track we've had in the entire Gen 6 era, and that's because the strategy actually plays out there, even with stages. And I if we could bring a tire like this to Richmond, can you imagine them pitting 4 times a stage? Holy cow, dude. It would be the greatest race of all time.
But Jay, the amount of people I listened to today calling into Dave Moody's show saying how amazing it was, I really think we might be seeing a tide in the coming weeks. I really do. I'm almost a believer. There was only like 3 or 4 callers that disagreed with Bristol.
Yeah.
I really do. I'm very hopeful. I'm actually kind of confident.
Yeah. I agree. I think we're on the right track, man. Like, I haven't felt this confident in what the path NASCAR could go in a long time, and I feel like we finally hit something, man. Like let's keep this momentum rolling. And to the 13% of you guys that said that was a bad race, I'm just gonna say, stay mad. Just stay mad. Just stay mad because you guys don't understand racing. You guys are the type of people that are like, oh, F1 is great, but you don't have parity in F1. I don't know. I feel like this is my thought process here too, Tom, is all it's going to take is somebody getting hurt in Atlanta, seriously hurt, because it's going to happen, because that's just the product of that track, before we end up saying Atlanta's garbage. That's all it's going to take. So, you know, and I hate that I have to say that. I do, because that's the only way it's ever going to get that Atlanta process out of people's minds. Like, it is what it is. But
yeah.
Yes. So if I was president of NASCAR, I'd be bulldozing Atlanta tomorrow. Is there anything else we want to talk about? The greatest NASCAR race of all time?
Yes, it really showed the character and structure of some drivers in that field. Last week, I'm severely disappointed in some of their comments, and they should be ashamed. Really.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name none. They've already been named. But
oh, I'll name them again. Nemechek, Larson, Blaney. Yeah, the list goes on. But yes, I'll name them. I don't care. These guys are making millions of dollars. Why do they care what my opinion is? I'd say my opinion. They can say their opinion.
It's funny, man. It's just the one day they actually have to go to work.
Yeah.
And they complain.
Because they didn't get to run qualifying laps the whole race. Yeah. That's why your point with the stage racing was pretty damn good. I was going to complain about that because I agree with you. Without the stage breaks, this race would have been freaking amazing. Even better than it already was, and it was already a 10 out of 10 banger of a race. But can you imagine without the stage racing, dude, how this race would have played out? We'd have had leaders blowing tires. We'd have had guys, one car on the lead lap, and then next thing you know, like 20 on the lead lap because like people didn't know how to save tires. It would have been crazy. It'd have been nuts.
What we had 106 lead changes. I think that's what they said.
No, 54 lead changes was
in the first two stages.
No, that was the total. I believe it was. I think it was 54. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways,
but we would have had 106 for sure.
The most in short track history ever in NASCAR.
Yeah.
Ever. You can't tell me that's not entertaining.
I was entertained. Oh, that was great.
I was very entertained.
Alrighty. So the point standings after Bristol in the Cup Series, we got Larson at 185, tied with Truex in second at 185, and then Gibbs. Wow. I mean, I guess we didn't really talk too much about it, but Gibbs, man, if this race would have played out like a normal race, he had the best car. The inexperience really caught up to him there at the end.
I mean, he was doing good. He just had that it's kind of funny to say, unplanned tire blowout at the end of the race.
Yeah.
If he didn't have that, he would have won the race.
Yeah, he wins. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But here he is, third in points, only 7 back.
Still awesome, man.
Great stuff. We've said this. We've been saying this for a while. Gibbs is the next big thing in NASCAR. And they're pushing these other guys in our face like crazy, but everybody hates Gibbs for that one incident that he had and compared himself to God or whatever. But it's like, we have to get over it, man. Like, he's a talent, man. He's a talent. So good for him. Alrighty. Bonehead or Driver of the Week segment here. Hunter McElroy, P2 in the IMSA race. And the only reason I really nominated him is because, yes, he did get P2. But that move, I mean, that was the move of the weekend. I mean, that alone puts you as a driver of the week. I mean, the stones on that man to make that move was unbelievable. So I'm going to nominate him. I'll also nominate Taylor Gray for finishing P7 in the Truck Series. This dude's so hit and miss, but he continues to knock off good runs this season, so you can't knock him anymore. I mean, he's figuring out the truck stuff. And then also I'm going to nominate John Hunter Nemechek P6 in the Cup. Yes, I got on him for complaining and whining about the race, but he shouldn't have been because he was one of the best at managing tires all day long. He had the car, and he did great managing tires, and he got a P6 finish. So I would take it with a grain of salt there. But I'm going to nominate those guys. And then Bonehead Move of the Week. Obviously, I'm going to nominate Jake Peterson in the Mission Pilot Challenge. This man, dude, that was the most. I could have swore if the paint scheme was blue and yellow, I would have thought that was Robert McGinnis. That was a Robert McGinnis move I've ever seen when he absolutely just wiped out Bryce Ward there. And then I'm going to nominate Pipo Derani again. I mean, this guy, so uncharacteristic, but it's going to land you on our list, buddy. It's going to land you on our list. And then I'm also going to nominate Zane Smith. This guy, man, this guy's had a terrible season, dude. He's being exposed left and right on a weekly basis with a Trackhouse prepared car, too. That's the messed up part, but he ARCA braked the hell out of, who was it, Reddick? Early in that race. I mean, absolutely just killed him, man. It was crazy. So those would be your bonehead moves of the week. There was some other ones I could have chose, but I feel like these ones are pretty good representation of the weekend right here. Alrighty. There was one thing I wanted to talk about here, Tom. I don't know. I'll just talk about it real quick and brief, and you can interject if you want to. But here's my idea. Me and Steven Doughton with Nexus Sim Race have been talking about this for a while. The new premier racing series that could rival F1 would be a prototype-only series. LMDH, LMH, GTP hypercar chassis. We got all this manufacturer investment. We run 26 car grids. We run 250-kilometer races. And we basically, it's just hypercars. Just hypercars only. And they have 2 drivers per car. And then, if you do that, the only races that they run in with the other classes would be the premier events, which would be Le Mans and Daytona each year. Then in IMSA, you make and the World Endurance Championship, you make LMP2 be your premier class, and then you run GT3s as your second class. And then for the Pilot Challenge Series, you run the GT4s and the LMP3s. Is there anything you want to add to that? I think that would be the most perfect thing. Prototype only, Formula 1 250-kilometer races. I mean, that would rival F1 tomorrow.
I think to add on to that, you remember that no limits, no rules prototype car that Toyota made a couple years back?
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Take the BOPs off and just let them run, dude. Let them go. I mean, I know Steven might disagree with me on this a little bit because he thinks that the BOP is a reason why there's so much investment in the prototype stuff, but I feel like, and Rob Collier also the next race was talking about this too. He's like, I just want to see prototype. Let's lift the BOPs. Let's let these guys get ingenuity. Let's build some fast freaking prototype cars. Let's run 2 drivers per car and make mandatory driver stop, make them 250-kilometer races, and just send them. And take them to some of the world's premier circuits. Let's go to Spa. Let's go to Monza. Let's go run Mugello. Let's go run Suzuka. Let's take them all over the world. Let's run some awesome freaking races with prototype only. I think it would rival Formula 1. I really do. Let's make it happen.
Yes. Alrighty.
Now, we're over an hour into this podcast, and we're just finally going to be talking about the races this weekend. Alrighty. So, the races this weekend, we got the Trucks Cup and Xfinity at COTA. Oh, I'm so excited. I love COTA. It's one of my NASCARs at COTA is like freaking match made in heaven, man. I love it. Last year's Cup race at the end, there's a little shenanigans, but other than that, I'm gonna count that as a wash. Everything else has been great. IndyCar, Thermal Club $1 Million Challenge. We'll talk about the format of that as well when we get into previewing the race, and then also the Formula 1, Formula 2 races at Melbourne. For the Australian Grand Prix weekend, they're at Albert Park. Notable entries this weekend in the truck series, we got Jax Hawksworth in the number 1 Tricon Garage truck. I'm super excited for this. Marco Andretti will be in the number 04 Roper truck. Connor Zilich in the number 7 Spire Motorsports truck. Dale Quarterly. I wanted to bring this guy because this guy is like older than dirt, and he is still wheeling and dealing, man. He is wheeling and dealing, dude. And he can drive on a road course. Holy cow. I would not be surprised if this dude's in the top 10 by the end of this. So I brought him up as well. He'll be in the number 12 Young's Motorsports truck. And then we also have Ross Chastain in the number 45 Niche truck. And then Jack Wood in the number 91 McAnally truck. And then we also have Vicente Salas in the number 20 Young's Motorsports truck. iRacer getting his first ever start in the truck series. That's crazy. I'm excited for him. Excited to see what he can do. In the Xfinity series, we got Ty Dillon in number 6 JD Motorsports truck. Larson in the number 17 Hendrick Motorsports entry. Ty Gibbs in the number 19 JGR. Kaz Gralla in the number 28 RSS car. And then Daniel Kvyat. Oh, I'm super excited for this too. He'll be in the SS Greenlight car in the Xfinity series, as well as Ed Jones making his Xfinity series debut in the number 24 Sam Hunt Racing Machine. And then the Cup Series, we got AJ Allmendinger in the number 13 Colleague Ride. SVG back in the Cup Series here on the number 16 colleague ride. We got Kamui Kobayashi in the number 50, 2311 ride. And then Timmy Hill. MBM is back, dude. Oh my goodness. I saw this. I was like, MBM. MBM is like the ultimate dark horse. MBM is the story of MBM. Charter Systems killed teams like MBM. It killed MBMs of the world. And I'm so glad they're going to be back here with Timmy Hill behind the wheel here for Coda. I'm super excited for them. I know they ain't going to do anything, but I'm just excited for them, man. I love the underdog stories, man.
Hey, you remember 2020 COVID times when Timmy Hill came to light with iRacing, man? He was put the world year on notice. Of Timmy Hill, man. Yeah. That was great.
And then in IndyCar, we got Colin Brown running in the the Delcoin Racing number 51 this weekend in the IndyCar series with Callum Ilott back in the number 6 for McLaren, as Malukas is still out with his surgery during the offseason. All right, picks for this weekend. The Truck Series XPEL 225 at Coda. I'm going with Ross Chastain. It's Ross Chastain. He's back in a niche truck. He's going to win this race. I'm just saying it right now. Hell yeah, let's go Ross Chastain. I can't wait to see what kind of show he puts on this weekend. And then my dark horse, and I think this guy is a legitimate shot to win. I'm not just saying it because I'm a huge fan of Connor Zillage. I'm not just saying it because he's an Aspire truck. I think first ever truck start, this dude is a wheeler, man. This dude, he is an absolute wheel, man. Generational talent. He's going to be going places. He's going to be racing in whatever he wants to be racing in here in the future. This guy, he's young. And he's 18, out here winning races left and right. Back-to-back in IMSA this season, the WeatherTech Challenge Series, and LB2. Wins races in the Mazda MX-5 Cup. I believe he almost won that race last year in the ARCA race at Watkins Glen. Watch out for Connor Zillage this weekend. That's my dark horse pick.
Yeah, as much as I would love to share the love, I'm going to spread it out a little bit here because Jay made some phenomenal choices. But for my favorite this weekend, I am going to go with Majeski just because of recent performance that he had at Coda. I hope he'd come back kind of do the same thing. But then for my dark horse, I got to do it. It's Hawksworth, baby. It's Hawksworth, baby. Look, one of the very first IMSA teams I ever rooted for on this channel, with Vassar Sullivan, Lexus, and Hawksworth behind the wheel. I'm a believer, man. I'm a believer.
Yes, those are great picks. I'm excited for the truck race at Coda. It's going to be great. Coda is just so awesome, man. I've been looking forward to this race for a while. All right, now for the Xfinity Series, the Focus Health 250. I'm taking Allmendinger purely because he won this race last year. It's AJ Allmendinger back with colleague in the Xfinity Series. He's the man, dude. He's the man. He's going to get it done again this weekend. And then for my dark horse, he's still a dark horse, and I hate to say it because he's in a Gibbs car, man. It's Sheldon Creed. Still doesn't want to race. He absolutely should have won this race last year. Just made too many mistakes towards the end of this thing and really let it slip away. But I'm taking Sheldon Creed. I think if Sheldon Creed gets a first career win, it could be this weekend at Coda.
Again, as much as I would love to, or love to choose Jay's picks, I'm going to share the love here, okay? So, Jay, again, phenomenal picks, but I'm going to take it a step further here. My favorite, Gibbs, who's going to be coming on down to the Xfinity Series at Coda. Looking for another win in the Joe Gibbs, or another win with Joe Gibbs. And then for my dark horse, I got to do it. I do it every time. We're going with SVG, baby. Phenomenal performances, not only on road courses and straight courses, but also ovals. This guy is the real deal. And boy, are we lucky. Are we privileged to have him in NASCAR?
Yes. SVG. I love it, man. He's going to have a big weekend this weekend. I'm excited. All righty. Now, for the Formula One Australian Grand Prix, I'm taking Logan Sargent. No, I'm just kidding. I'm taking Max Verstappen to win this weekend in dominant performance once again here at Albert Park. I don't think you have anything else to say there about that. And then for my dark horse, I'm going to go with Alex Albon. I think Williams this weekend, their pace, I believe, has gotten a lot better this year. And you can see it. We saw it a little bit there at the opening round at Bahrain. Then they got parked behind the bus there at Jeddah, which I talked about that in depth last weekend. But I believe that the pace is there. I believe that you're going to see the Albon Williams team find points in this race, maybe even get even more points, and maybe up towards like that 7-8 range by the end of this. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I'm gonna go favorite. Obviously, gonna go for Verstappen. And then for my dark horse, I just, and I don't know why, but I have that feeling. I have a feeling this weekend is gonna be a great comeback weekend for Alpine, and Gasly is gonna lead that charge this weekend. Hey, look, Albert Park, a great track for mayhem at the beginning of the race and at the end of the race. We see it every year. Every year we see it, and Alpine can absolutely take advantage of any situations coming their way and get a good points finish that day.
I agree. Australia was the best race of the year last year, and then Singapore was pretty good, and then we had a pretty good one at Baku as well. And then Silverstone was a pretty good race as well. But then Vegas happened, and then that became the greatest race of the season. But Australia's amazing. Australia is a mint. It's mint. The Albert Park is an amazing racetrack. Always puts on a good race. So I'm excited to see that. And to your point there, it's not a bad pick with Gasly because we talked about this off stream. But last year, both those Alpines were looking to score points until that late race shenanigans where they both took each other out. So I think that's a great pick there. Alrighty, the Thermo Club $1 Million Challenge here, Tom. Let's go over the format a little bit and let's talk about some of the key things here as we get into this $1 Million Challenge. Because it's an interesting format this year. There's some interesting stuff going on. So I'll let Tom kind of walk us through maybe the major parts of the format, some stuff to keep your eyes on here.
Yeah, so look, we're going to have different groups in qualifying. The top 6 in each group are going to move on to that $1 Million Challenge. How are they going to determine who's in each group? Is a draw party. So people are going to draw numbers. It seems like, how they kind of explained it is just drawing for which heat they're going to go into. So with that, the qualifying, again, a random draw to divide the field into 2 groups. One starts at 8 p.m. on Saturday with a 12-minute qualifying session. All right. That 12 minutes will stay constantly going the entire time. It does not matter if there's a red flag or a yellow flag. It is going to continue on through that whole time. So, say 6 people make a lap time, and then, I don't know, Stingray Rob puts it in the turn 1 wall, didn't pray hard enough, and just blows up the wall. And then they got to sit there and work on it. During that red flag stint, the time's going to go on, it's going to go on, it's going to go on, and if it runs out, it runs out. Too bad. That's how it's going to work. So,
and also in qualifying, right, they get to use push to pass, 40 seconds of push to pass in qualifying. Big dub. Yes. I'm super excited to see how that plays out. Exactly.
Yeah, so 40 seconds for the qualifying. All right, and it'll be 40 seconds per person in each group. All right, now we go into the heat races. The heat races actually determine the 12-car field. The qualifying determines the group or
the heat races.
Yeah. So then each heat race will consist of 10 laps and be timed at 20 minutes, whatever comes first. So, obviously they're kind of expecting maybe a little bit of craziness happening. So 10 laps or 20 minutes, whatever comes first. Cars' position on track will be determined by the last time line crossed. What does that mean? When a caution comes out, and say Grosjean is in front of Palou, all right? When the caution first flies. It doesn't matter. What matters is where the transponder was at the last timeline, the last scoring loop. That's what matters. That is extremely important when we go into this race. It's extremely important for everybody to understand that, really.
And I know we talked about this off stream because we might have like one of those Bobby Pierce, Hudson O'Neal incidents. But then again, if you do it by the camera angle for the caution, then you get one of those Daytona Byron Bowman issues. So I feel like this was like the only happy compromise we could come up with here.
So you'll get one set of tires for qualifying. You'll get one set of tires for heat races. You can use that set of tires that you had in qualifying only under emergency circumstances. So what does that mean? You pop a tire. All right. So you got to put those sets on. Or, a little bit of contact, a tire goes down, whatever. You got to put those on. That's okay. If you're coming into the pits and just decide to do a random pit stop with some tire changes, you are going to be disqualified. You will be kicked out. You will be disqualified. Yep. And again, in the heat races, another 40 seconds of push to pass will be granted. So you'll have that in qualifying and in the heat races. Now, in the heat races, the top 6 advancing cars will make it to the 12-car field in the heat races. So then you'll have a 12-car field for the Thermal Club $1 million challenge. Again, tire strategy will come into play. You will get another set of tires for the $1 million challenge. And you'll have a backup set from your heat races if you need that for an emergency. So, emergency only. You'll get disqualified if you try to play some games. So, you'll see teams, or you won't see teams taking gambles like that at all. There will be the race is 20 laps. They're going to split it in half, 10 and 10. They'll have a halfway 10-minute halftime break. All right? You're not allowed to change tires or, any big adjustments. What you are able to do, though, add fuel, adjust front, rear, and wing angles and wickers, adjust tire pressure, and whatever the driver needs. That is all you're able to do. That's it. And that is the format right there. You'll get, I think they said another 40 seconds. You'll get 40 seconds for the push to pass for the first 10 laps, and then it'll reset. It'll reset at the halftime break, and you'll get another 40 seconds. So 80 seconds total for the $1 million challenge. And let's see. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. That's all you got.
That format just sounds amazing. No, the best part about it is there's no gimmicks. Not a single gimmick. It's literally straight up heads up racing. No tire changes unless you have a puncture, which is this is going to play out to be amazing. Minimal changes on pit stops. So if you're good at the beginning, you're most likely going to be good at the end. I don't know how much adjustments you can make to be even better than you were at the first stage. What it really sounds like to me, Tom, is it's all going to be depending on that qualifying session, where you line up for that heat race, because you've got to position yourself in a good position in that heat race to start towards the front in the main. This is going to be great. And 80 seconds of push to pass in a 20-lap race at the end of this. This is, wow, that's going to be strategic. You're going to be seeing these guys using it a lot, like early, trying to get that track position. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be fun. I'm super excited. Like I said, we'll be doing the watch party for that here on Sunday, so make sure you guys tune in. Oh, Mad Duck in the chat. Hey, new member, rookie member. Yes, Mad Duck. Hola, amigos.
What up?
What's up?
What's going on?
Yes.
My homie.
Yes. Welcome into the podcast. We're getting close to the end of this. We're actually going to be making our picks now for the Thermal Club $1 Million Challenge. I am going with old Scotty McLaughlin. Old Scotty Mac. I'm sticking with it, man. It's not a points race. This dude is just an absolute Chad. Aussie invasion, Kiwi invasion, whatever you want to say. I love it. Let's go, Scotty Mac. He's going to get the job done this weekend. My dark horse, and it's because I'm a huge fan of this guy. I love Colin Brown. I think he's an amazing race car driver. What he does in IMSA, and I would like to see him back in the GTP class here coming in 2025. But running these select races in IndyCar with Dale Coyne. I mean, it's Dale Coyne. They're a dark horse to begin with. So I'm thinking Colin Brown this weekend is my dark horse.
All right, for my favorite, it's gonna be the one and only Hello Polo, air at the Thermo Club, baby. Let's go. All right, so Polo, yeah. Okay, so for my dark horse, now look, I've ragged on him a little bit. All right, I've kind of talked a little bit of shit about him, but wow, that performance at St. Petersburg kind of made me rethink a little bit. Yeah, he didn't get a good finish. Whatever. Let's talk about how he raced in that race. Position-wise, okay, position-wise, he was doing phenomenal with a terrible car. He really was. He really was. Grosjean. Okay? Grosjean only has to race... Well, I mean, if he gets through the heats in qualifying, he only has to have a 10-lap, pretty much qualifying race with a break and then another 10-lap. This Grosjean could do it. I think if it's anybody of the dark horses, it's going to be Grosjean. I think so.
It's a great pick. It's a great pick. I'm super excited for this race. I'm ready for it to be today.
Yeah,
I'm
me
ready
too.
to go, man. Sunday can't get here soon enough. I'm so excited. Alrighty. Now, for the Cup Series race, the Eco Park Automotive Grand Prix on Sunday, my pick, I mean, you probably could tell by what hat I'm wearing here, but hear me out here. I'm taking Alex Bowman to win this race. 2021, the first time I went to Coda, during that rain race. He was leading this race late. Torrential downpours. They should have canceled the race. They didn't cancel the race because they were waiting for him to make his pit stop, for everything to cycle back through. So he makes his pit stop. Next lap by, guess who inherits the lead? Chase Elliott. He ends up getting the victory because they end up canceling it once Elliott got the lead. So he still finished 8th. And I still put an asterisk on that because he should have won that race because NASCAR just played some favoritism there. 2022. That amazing finish between Allmendinger, Chastain, Bowman. Chastain and Allmendinger battle it out. You see Bowman fly out of a cannon, rocket ship up to catch these guys. Actually takes the lead before Chastain bulldozed into Allmendinger, ran Bowman up the track, took out Allmendinger. Bowman still came home P2. Last year, after all the shenanigans, everybody getting dumped and wrecked and everything, who came out in P3? Alex Bowman. This man finds performance at Coda. This is the one road course that you go to every year, and you got to take Alex Bowman as one of your potential favorites. He's going to be a great fantasy pick as well. Alex Bowman. Going to break this winless streak. He's going to find victory lane again, and it's going to be on a road course at Coda this weekend. My dark horse. I'm a believer. I wanted to take McDowell, but you know what? I said in the offseason, Todd Gillen is going to win a race this season. No matter what, it's going to happen. Why not this weekend? He is an exceptional road racer. He proved that the last couple of years on road courses. He has had the pace. He's had the speed. If things work out right for him, we get some more of those late race shenanigans. Who could end up at the front of this field? Todd Gillen. Super consistent, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And he's really matured a lot. Watch out for Todd Gillen this weekend.
I'm not going to have as an elaborate, explanation for my choices. But I agree with everything Jay said there. Actually, Bowman is a phenomenal choice. Again, like what Jay said, this has got to be one of the only places. There's a couple of other places, but one of the only places that Bowman could really circle on the calendar every year to go out and win. And he proves it year in and year out. So, but this year, I'm going to look again towards Trackhouse and Chastain. Extremely fast a few years back, had a little bit of struggles last year. Actually, last year, that was his comeback tour. Never give up. That's when we first started talking about it. Chastain finished in the top 10, even after going a lap down late in the race, coming back and finishing in the top 10. Chastain's fast when he comes here. So I'm going to choose him for my favorite. For my dark horse, I'm going to go with Gibbs. Look, the progression of that kid since the first race he had in the Cup Series to now has been astronomical. You can tell he's had to change his driving style for these cars. And I think it only gets better. Look at his performance at Bristol. I know it's an oval, but even with all the circumstances happening on track, he adapted And that's really all you need in these times. Gibbs is going to adapt. He's going to become a better driver under the circumstances that we're in, and he has an absolute opportunity to win here this weekend. And I think Gibbs is going to be extremely strong.
Yes. I'm stoked, man. I love Coda. This is going to be a great weekend. We get to watch the Thermal Club. Then after that's over and our watch party's done, we're going to go off stream and then we're going to go watch some damn Coda. It's going to be great. I can't wait. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I can't wait for this weekend. Great races. All right. Let's do Formula One fantasy first. So my fantasy lineup this week, I'm going to take Verstappen, Ricardo, Hulkenberg, Sonoda, Albon. Really I'm just going to go, basically the only one I'm really concerned about here is Ricardo because we haven't seen a lot of pace out of him yet this year. But it's his hometown track, basically. It's his home Grand Prix. Let's see him do well this weekend. That's my 5-driver lineup. And then for my manufacturers, I'm going to take Red Bull and Williams. And a lot to the sentiment I said about Williams earlier in my race picks. I believe that Williams has really got a lot of pace this year compared to last year. It's really surprising. And Albon it can get the most out of that Williams race car. And he's going to give me some points this weekend.
For my picks, I actually sat here for a minute trying to get some people involved here. But I got it in. I got Verstappen, Behrman, Hulkenberg, Sargent, and Bottas. That's my 5 drivers there. And then for my constructors, obviously, I'm going to take Red Bull. And then I'm going to go ahead and take RB, A, B, C, D, LMAO, DTF, GG, KE, KW.
There you go. There's a commercial, like, now that you say that, this is a commercial on Pandora, as I listen to Pandora when I'm working. And it's like, I know, but, or was it? I know, or I know, but, or IKB, that's it. Everybody knows an IKB person, so I don't know. I don't know why that just came into my head. Whatever. It's been a long day.
I'll add it to the list.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, add it to the list for next week. Alrighty. For NASCAR fantasy, I'm going to take Bowman. Obvious reasons. Reddick. He won this race last year. I think he's going to get good points. He's a great road racer. I'm going to take Allmendinger, SVG, both out of colleague because obvious reasons. And then I honestly didn't want to because I think this guy's the next Dell Jr. and he's like having the career path of a Dell Jr. right now. Like really good at the beginning of his career and then just absolutely fell off a cliff. And him winning a race is like finding a 4-leaf clover or whatever. So I'm gonna put Elliott on there just because if we do get some shenanigans late in this race or something where they red flag and have to end it for whatever reason, it'll be because Elliott's in the lead. So I'll put him on this for good fantasy points there.
Bold.
It's so bold.
I
gotta use him at least once. I got 10 uses.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I got Reddick, Chastain, Bush, Byron, and McDowell. I'm gonna stick with that for now. I think I need more time to think on it though.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough here for Coda. It's
Yeah,
kind of
it's
a wild card. And next for the matchups, it's Hamlin versus Busch. I'm gonna go Hamlin because Busch's season has just been so tragic, and I mean Hamlin's a risky pick because either there's only 2 ways a road course goes for Hamlin. Either he's gonna just absolutely dominate and run up front all day, or he's just gonna flop like a fish out of water, and it's gonna be in terrible Jurassic fashion. So I'm taking the risk here, just compared to what Busch has done so far this season. I'll take Hamlin over Busch.
Look, this is a great matchup because not only we get Kyle Busch having a horrible start to the season, and then you get Denny Hamlin, which is just like what you said. So I think this is actually a very good matchup. And I'm going to go different over Jay to try and get some points here. I'm going to go Kyle Busch over Hamlin.
Alrighty. This next one's a good matchup too. It's Reddick versus Larson. I'm going to go with Reddick just because he won this race last year. I believe the Toyotas are just figured something out. Reddick is the best road racer in the Cup Series right now. And that you can fight me on that. I think that truly is the true statement here.
I'm going to be petty, and I'm going to choose the 45 over the 5 because I lost all respect for Larson after Bristol.
Agreed.
I hope he flounders.
I agree. All right, next one is Chastain and Suarez teammate matchup here. I think this is easy. I think
It's easy.
it's so easy. Suarez is just he ain't it. I mean, he wins a race at Atlanta. Everybody thinks he's the next best thing. It's Chastain. It's easily Chastain. He won this in 2022. He's so fast.
Yep.
Dakota.
Yep, I agree, 100%.
And next one is Bowman and Cindric. This is an easy one too. This is like a home run slam dunk. Just look at the stats alone, and it's an easy take. The only way Cindric beats Bowman is if they both end up finishing 35th and 36th. So I'm taking Bowman easily.
Yeah, I agree. Everything there. Is this even an option right now? Really, honestly, Bowman for sure.
Alrighty, that will do all of our fantasy picks, all of our picks for this weekend. I think that does it for this episode, Tom. We had a really good episode. Fantastic race this weekend. I can't say it enough. Greatest NASCAR race of all time. The Sebring was fantastic. Unbelievable. I'm excited for this weekend. $1 Million Challenge watch party. So that's what I'm going to talk about first. Actually, let's talk about a little bit about what we're doing. So tomorrow, correct me if I'm wrong, we got Bristol for the Truck Series of Motor City Cup.
Yeah.
Thursday, we have back markers at...
I need to look.
Yeah, I'm blanking, dude. I know we have back markers somewhere.
Charlotte.
That'll be a good race. Xfinity cars at Charlotte. And back markers always put on a good show, so I can't wait for that. Friday, nothing going on. But then Saturday, Tom, talk about what we're doing on Saturday, or what you're doing on Saturday.
Well, okay, yeah, we're doing a 12-hour race at Sebring. It's gonna be Brad Haldane and I taking on 12 hours around Sebring in the LMP2 car. Man, do we have a beautiful car ready to debut here. Super excited to share it with you guys. It's totally dope. Totally dope. It's super cool. But then we got a little bit of a conflict of schedules here, right? So we're going to be running the 12 hours of Sebring in the morning at 8 a.m. 12 hours, obviously that goes to 8 p.m. We might have a little bit of conflict there due to practices and qualifying, pushing that 12 hours out just a little bit further. So, with that being said, though, Brad's going to have to finish the race while Jay and I are broadcasting for PSCRL at Kern County Dirt.
Yes.
Kern County Dirt.
No, it's not actually Kern County Dirt. I don't believe it is, actually. I think it is.
Oh, is it Bristol Dirt?
No, their schedule's changed. It is... Goodness gracious, now I gotta remember what it was. It's not Kern County Dirt. They made an adjustment to their schedule.
It's Bristol Dirt. It is Bristol Dirt.
Bristol Dirt.
Yeah. And they did that to avoid any possible dirt setup problems and also give time for drivers to get used to Kern County, because nobody's used to Kern County.
I thought it was Chicagoland, but okay. Bristol Dirt works out too.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in our schedules. So it's hard to keep track
racing,
of.
Okay?
Yes, we're gonna go dirt racing.
We're having fun here, okay? We're having fun. So, but yeah, we're gonna go dirt racing then. Hopefully, look, we've got Brad and I. We've got a great streak going on. Just won the 12 hours of Bathurst, and we're gonna go after the 12 hours of Sebring. So. That's going to be pretty fun. Broadcasted right here on this channel.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. So Tom, he's going to stream the first half of that race, the first 6 hours. And a lot of it will be from his perspective, him racing in the car. He'll be on his rig. We'll get a good cam of him. And then we'll get a little overlay shot of the race from an outer perspective or even inner perspective, whatever we want to do. And then, to make it easier on Tom, I'm going to stream the second half of the race. And I got to look into it because we got the PSCR race right after. I'm wondering if we'll be able to stream 2 streams at once. If I'm streaming the second half of that on my OBS and then you stream the beginning of the PSCRS here, we'll have to see if that can work. We'll have to do a little bit of research. But we want to stream the 12-hour races. Tom and Brad have been doing really good at this. We've streamed a couple of them. One of them got taken down because we didn't realize that we couldn't stream a 24-hour straight stream. So that one we lost forever. But we had a 6-hour one at the Glen that they ran last year that they ended up winning. So we would like to do more of this here in the future, kind of open it up, show like, hey, Dega Boys do a little bit of racing too here on the side, especially Tom and Brad. They've been doing a fantastic job over here. So, yeah, stay tuned to the channel there. Just tune in with us. We'll be streaming, talking, having a good time, showing some racing, just kind of hanging out. It'll be fun. Alrighty. And then, yeah, Sunday, watch party. Watch party for the month of March. Thermal Club, $1 Million Challenge. And then I believe we're off on Sunday and Monday. And then we'll be back again for Tuesday for episode 62 of the Full Set Half Mast podcast. Can't wait to bring that action to you. Also, we just confirmed this today. Got the good to go here from Tom. But our 1 year anniversary of broadcasting is actually April 3rd. We did the Montreal race, our very first live broadcast race. So what we're going to be doing is mark your calendar on March 30th, the day before Easter. It'll be a Saturday night. PSCRL's off. We're going to be sitting down and we're going to be doing a watch party of our very first broadcast. I don't know about you, Tom. I haven't went back and looked at this race since I made the highlight video. Honestly, I went back and got a clip, I think, of it for one of our promo videos or something that we did, but I haven't gone back and watched it to its entirety or anything like that. So it's gonna be raw. It's gonna be raw. We're gonna see how far we have come as broadcasters watching our 1 year anniversary of our first broadcast. It's gonna be great. So we'll schedule that here in the next day or so and get that ready so you guys can mark your calendars and come enjoy the race with us. Come hang out as we critique ourselves, I guess, or enjoy our lack of knowledge or play fun on ourselves a little bit for how much we progressed and maybe we weren't as good as we were at the beginning going in raw. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm excited to see what that has in store. And then to celebrate our 1 year of broadcasting, guess what? We are going to be doing the NSR on Wednesday, April 3rd, the 1 year anniversary, and they're racing at Talladega. We are the Dega Boys. Talladega, it couldn't work out any better. I can't wait to bring that to you. So lots of stuff coming up in the pipeline on this channel. Also, I guess I should mention this one time real quick. We are going to have a podcast on April 12th, right? Is it April 12th, Friday, April 12th?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
We're going to be having a podcast. It'll be me, Tom, and there'll be King of Camo with Nate and Ryan. And we'll be in here to describe to you guys and go through everything we're going to be doing for the Dega Games. Kind of a little bit of a trash talk, pre-game, media day, prelude style podcast where we just kind of just chill, talk, maybe trash talk a little bit, talk about what kind of games we're going to be playing, maybe our strengths and weaknesses, where we think we're going to gain our points and everything for the Dega Game. So we'll mark that on your schedule as well. We'll get that scheduled here as soon as possible as well. So lots of streams, lots of cool stuff coming here down the pipeline in this channel. But with that being said, I want to thank all of our channel members. We got a new one today, Mad Duck. Hell yeah. Maddox, you're the man, dude. Thanks for becoming a member of the Dega Boys channel and supporting us. It means the world to us. Also, Tailtax was a member here of our channel last week. Thank you so much. Dallas Seward, he was our original member. He's been a big partner on this channel. Awesome dude. Always brings great content to the streams. Love having him around. He is just such a cool character. And then also, we have Nexus Sim Racing with Steven Dowden. Oh, man, this guy's done so much for us. He's also a member of our channel. Thank you so much, Steven, for everything you've done for us. And then Josh Kreider. Oh, man, like Tom said on the other day, if you're listening, when you get your merch, you got to send us some pics or something of you wearing that merch and repping the Dega Boys. Oh, my goodness. You're the man, Josh. Oh, man. Runs a PSRL.
Hey, this is a great time to explain the benefits of what Josh gets, right? He chose the ultimate diehard, so he gets free merch. He gets free merch. That's what Jay and I are talking about right now. He just got it shipped to his house. All right, it should be to him like yesterday, hopefully. But look, you get that. You can come on to this right here, this podcast right here, and go over everything we just talked about. You go to broadcast if you want. Come to Talladega with us. You know, lots of cool stuff that the members get to have. So really cool.
Yeah, and early video access as well. I mean, you get
that too,
all the videos I create and everything. I make them days ahead of time. You get to see them days ahead of time. I mean, before the public gets to see them. I mean, great benefits you get there. You also get these awesome shout outs here in this podcast as well. And yeah, you get great privileges in our Discord. So if you want to become a member of our channel, like a lot of you fine people are here in the Dega Boys community, go pick a tier that works best for you and come join the boys. Be a part of the boys. Come interact with us. Be Be involved. This is a community. Me and Tom designed this whole thing to be an open forum community for everybody that loves racing. Just trying to interact and connect with people that love racing as much as we do. And maybe they don't like the same types of racing we like, but we love all racing. Really, at the core, we watch it all. We love it all. So make sure you guys join our Discord. That's what I was gonna say next. Our Discord. Great stuff on our Discord. All the news from everything happening in the motorsports world. And if you guys have news that we haven't found yet, post that as well. Share it with the community. Share it to other like-minded people that love racing just as much as you. There's nothing you can post on there is going to be something we are not interested in. Post it all. We got everything on there, from all the major motorsports, NASCAR, IMSA, IndyCar, Formula, whatever. And then we got like short track racing. If you like short dirt track racing, then post that. We watch that too. We love it. You love sports car racing, DTM, sports supercars, Formula One Academy, Super Formula, it doesn't matter. NHRA even. We've got that on there. Trans Am. I mean, we got everything. So post news, whatever you like. And if you have any suggestions for any other racing series you would like us to add that we don't have yet, suggest it. We'd love to add more racing series or news topics for you to talk about as well. So thanks. And also go join all of our socials. Go follow us on X. Go follow us on Twitter. X and Twitter, same thing. TikTok, Instagram, as well as our Patreon, where you get access to all of our full unedited content from the crash compilations. And then also with the Dega games coming up, there's gonna be a lot of stuff we probably can't put on YouTube. You know, YouTube might have a little bit of a frown or like a little bit, of a little thought process there. So there'll be some content there from the Dega games. And yeah, I mean, I know it'll probably happen one day, Tom. We'll probably get canceled off this whole internet thing because somebody at YouTube decided to let us idiots jump on here. But until that day happens, we're gonna be here bringing you content on a weekly basis. So we love every single one of you guys. You guys mean the world to us. We love racing. We love to interact with people who love racing. And yes, I think we covered everything here tonight. Thank you guys so much. This has been the Full Set Half Mast Podcast, episode 61. One of the greatest weekends in recent racing memory. This has been Jay and Tom, and we will all catch you guys in the next one.
Run for your lives! Everyone run for cover! SOS! Mayday! Mayday! Those heads stuck in cover! You're all in danger! Run for cover!
Chicken Little! What is it? What's going on?
The sky is falling! The sky is falling!
Oh man, faith in humanity is restored. Make NASCAR great again, baby. Oh my God. I am over the moon. We just saw the greatest NASCAR race of all freaking time tonight. Unbelievable. I have to top that off. The 12 hours of Sebring. Oh my goodness.
Phenomenal.
We had 12 straight hours of absolute insanity. And it comes down to a late race battle for the win. Oh my goodness. I can't. This was the greatest race weekend in recent memory. I can't remember a race weekend like this in a long time. Oh my goodness. This is why we said at the beginning of the year 2024 was going to be the year of the golden era of motorsports. We got off to a real rocky start here, boys. We had to hold our shorts a little bit, but dang, did this weekend deliver.